lounge. I hope you had a good week. And now Friday again. As you can see, the topic is one that will be any parent's nightmare. So hear those words drop from the mouth of a child that you have taken care of. We're going to use a specific incident of a specific person for this conversation. We're going to actually choose the very words that came out of her daughter's mouth. I know, this platform is talking generally about family relationships, starting from the relationship between a couple, before marriage and marriage, and then including the children and the whole family and the dynamics. And our intention here is to have conversations that will help us to delve more and shine light on things that we're not doing or that we're omitting or that we're actually doing that bring us results that aren't favorable, and how we can make adjustments so that we can have results that we want as much as possible. Not everything is possible. There are some things that are beyond our control for whatever reason. However, there are things that we may think are beyond our control, but really are not beyond our control. It's only that we haven't understood how to manage ourselves in those areas. So without more delay, let's get into the studio with the other panelists and have this conversation about the nightmare of parents who actually hear their children say these words, that they're not going to be there for them when they're older, or even the ones who do not hear the words from their mouths and see it's implied in everything that's going on in the family that this child is going to be this way to us when we're older. Thank you again for joining us. And hi, everyone. So great to see you. Unfortunately, we cannot see this. Yeah. Ashaya, is the audio slow for you? And if you're there, say hello in the comments. Thank you for joining us. Read. Or Tony, would you just read what this man said? The first slide.
Okay.
The number one.
Let me draw it up from my WhatsApp.
Yeah, and I will put it on the screen here as well.
So what part of it are we reading? The whole thing?
The one that says number one.
Number one. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a post that appeared on Divorce Nigeria. I stopped helping my daughter financially after she told me I shouldn't expect her to take care of me when I'm old. I'm 52. I'm a 52-year-old Nigerian mother, and I have been supporting my daughter, who is now 25 years old, ever since we lost my husband when she was barely 5 years old. So I think the comment by the daughter that she should not expect her to take care of her when she's old. This was the source of worry, or as it were, the parent's nightmare that we're talking about.
Right. Okay. And so to provide a little more background, she said she finally entered university and the bills just kept increasing. I have paid for her tuition, I've helped her with her upkeep, I've supported her rent when she needed it, and covered numerous emergencies in quotes, that somehow always involved solo trips by the daughter, hangouts with her friends, or a new iPhone. And she says, I'm trying not to complain. Okay, maybe I complain a little, but I love her. When I lost her dad, it wasn't easy. So she has given us a background. So let's believe that this is what the parent has done. And now the daughter has said to her directly during a conversation. The daughter said, we're barely surviving with little or nothing left behind after my in-laws took almost everything from us. I always wanted to make life easy for her while she figured things out. I never wanted her to suffer the way that I did when I was her age. And then last week we were sitting in the living room talking about life and retirement and just a mother-daughter talk. And then I jokingly said, at least when I get old, you'll take care of me, Abby. And then she looked up from her phone and said with a straight face, Mommy, please don't expect that from me. I didn't ask to be born. You should have planned your retirement properly. And then the woman was shocked. And that's it. So she says that she's been so shocked and too shocked to even process what um what's happened. Does anyone know how she can handle this? How would you handle this? What should we say about this? Is it possible that you can actually take care of a child and have a conversation like this where you're joking and then the child drops this? Do you see the possibility of that, Tony?
Um, Personally, I would not say use such words with my own parents. My parents are late, so I don't have that problem. But if they were here, I would not, whether as a joke or anything, present um, my thoughts in that manner. However, as per what I expect of my own kids, um, I would really not say, I would say not much. Not much in the sense that whatever it is that I am doing right now, I am doing out of love and out of responsibility. There's something the lady said, the daughter said that I agree with. She did not ask to be born. So anything I am doing for my kids, I am doing out of responsibility for them, not because I expect them to owe me or to pay me back sometime in the future. Everything I do out of love and out of a sense of responsibility because I'm the one who, you know, who gave birth to them. They didn't ask to be born. Um, I think even though some people may react to this differently, I think there's something quite instructive in her comment about planning for your retirement. I know that in previous topics that we have had, I remember Bishop particularly um, talking about that, the importance of um, parents planning for their old age. I would even take it further. I'm not even talking of just, old age. I'm talking about now. I'm not even thinking about just, the future. I'm thinking about now. As much as I love my kids, I want to take care and provide for them. I also want to ensure that I am taking care of myself and my partner now, not in the future. So the things that will make my life better, I am going to do them. I will do the best I can for my kids, but I will not kill myself. I will make sure that while I give them the basics, a roof over their head, food to eat, sound education, and if I can afford it, God blesses me, holidays and trips and all of those vacations and all of those things. But I would not stretch myself such that I and my partner are denying ourselves of certain things that can make our lives better. Yes, parents make sacrifices for their children, but the
Oh,
sacrifice has to be, in my opinion, has to be balanced, has to be measured. Um, of course, I'm not going to go globetrotting when my kids can't pay school fees. I'm not going to do that. But as I plan for their education and all of that, I'm also going to plan to live my own life here and now, not just in the future. But I would elaborate on this. I see who's not shaking her head. I will elaborate on this and what I mean with practical examples later on. But let me
now
stop.
I actually wish that I hadn't asked you to speak first. My bad. My mistake.
I'm monitoring
Okay.
you.
Oh, Bishop, it
Oh,
works
you did
very
it.
well now.
You did the magic. Okay. Can you change your orientation? Change your orientation, Bishop.
Wait,
Yeah.
let me call you when I finish this one.
Okay. Uh,
Welcome, Bishop.
welcome, Bishop. Okay, so I think the smart thing I should do now is ask Bishop to speak. Since he wasn't here listening to you, I hope he wasn't listening to me.
I didn't hear anything actually.
All right. Okay. But you heard when we did the introduction, right? So can you please
I
speak
didn't
on
hear.
what? No, the introduction, like the pictures that we saw, the conversation between the woman and her daughter, and what transpired. Can you speak to that? Like, is it possible that somebody would have a child that they cared for so much, and this is what they hear one day? Please don't expect me to take care of you. I didn't ask to be born, and you should make plans for your own retirement. And if we hear that, what would you say to that kind of situation?
Is a foundational error. What do I mean by foundation? I'm not talking about spirits.
Oh,
Well,
hello, Explore Meg. Thank you for joining us.
there are spirits, no doubt, but let's deal with the physical, which is the one we can see. Somewhere along the line, there's a failure of parenting. For a child to grow up so selfish and so self-opinionated, even if I start disagreeing with that child from even the thought to even think about that and to even communicate that to a parent shows that that child is a very silly little brat, spoilt brat, as far as I'm concerned. Even if she felt so, to have voiced it out is evidence of being spoiled. Yeah. So it's a failure of parenting on the one hand, but having said that, we now deal with the child herself. Yeah. She's self-opinionated. She's self-centered. She's selfish. This I think I'm not saying it in any um, unmistakable way, because such a child, when she grows up and suddenly realizes that in this life he can't function alone, maybe that time would have become late to come back and start retracing her steps. Yeah, because you are answerable to some people in this life.
Oh, the child has frozen, Bishop.
God has made life in such a way that we're interdependent. Yeah, we're likely that in her old age, he won't take care of her. She's just a silly little girl. That's my view.
Shaya, is Shaya frozen?
Yeah.
Okay, please go.
Okay. I'm live. My network is top notch this evening. All right.
We can hear
I
you.
don't think. Can you hear me, people?
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't think any of us will be at the other side of divide in this conversation this evening. I am not sure of that. I think everybody are likely to be on the same page. You
Why
know,
do you think so?
well, time will tell. But having said that, I I want to believe two things. Number one is that the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence. For with everything that you are, guard your heart is very, very important. You know why I'm saying this? Something happened to the people that I know. In those, people that have worked with if you have parents that worked in ministry, they have a way of maintaining that carcass, and then So one of their kids, the kid of one of them, had an extra year, and she told her friends, and all of them were discussing. That girl is this, that girl is that. How could she have extra year? She was on serious and all that. So one of the parents went home, and she was telling her daughter, can you imagine Madam so daughter? She had extra year. Can you imagine how these you kids of nowadays? And the daughter shut her up by telling her, "You are busy looking at other person's child that she had extra year. Me that have been chased out, expelled from the school since 200 level." The mother, and they were expecting her to go for service. The mother developed a stroke and she died in the
Jesus.
process. So,
So,
what am I trying to say? Anytime the fact that you're a parent, you should know that half or more than half of you, you are sacrificing it for your children, no matter how you want to. I mean, don't try to expect nothing in return. If the universe wants to
yes.
smile on you, you are lucky to have it, good for you. But if it's not, you just do yourself a favor by just playing your role and then you bless God. You understand?
Yes.
So, things I heard about that story because it was personal to me. There's something that shifted in my mind, in my sense, in everything. I believe. Okay, you just try your best. So one will not blame the parents. They at least they send the kids to good school. They never knew that she has been expelled, and she didn't tell the parent. Now, in a way, you can blame the parent because for it to be like 200 level, 300 level, 400 level, and they were expecting her to go and serve. If not the fact that she was vocal about it, I'm not sure they will know. If you want to fake the service, she can do that also. But I think there was this
Yes.
pent up emotion who wanted to, ease out and then take it off her mind. And that resulted in another casualty. So, like I've said earlier on, I think this is a very straightforward thing. The expectation of African parents, especially in Nigeria that we know, is just too high. I have given you, I say you suck my breast, I carry you on 9 months, daddy will say, I do this, I do yes. But do not expect much. I think it's natural, but then if we one can manage it, don't just have just high hopes like that. That's just it for now.
Hmm. Okay. Very interesting views. I think you guys are really. I mean, I'm actually surprised to surprised to hear what you ended it with, Shaya, and not surprised with Bishop's position. Now that we've heard from everybody, can we go back again, take another round? Bishop, what do you have to now say to what Shaya and Tony said?
I'm not sure Bishop heard what I said because he wasn't here.
Yes, I
He wasn't?
didn't.
Um,
I
yes,
didn't.
he
Yes.
wasn't here at the time.
Oh,
And I would like to, just maybe say it again in another way that while I will not, as a child, speak to my own parents in that manner,
Yeah.
I see something that I think is instructive in what this child said to the mother. I started by saying all the things that I do for my children, I do out of responsibility because, like the girl told her mother, it's factual. They did not ask to be born. So everything I do out of responsibility. It is my responsibility to do it. And I do not do it expecting anything in return. I do it gratuitously, like from my heart. First, again, responsibility. Second, out of love. Those are the two reasons that I do whatever I do for my kids. I would not tell my parents in those exact words that I would not take care of them. If if
Okay.
God had blessed them and they're still with us, of course, whatever it is I can do to make their lives more comfortable in their old age, I would do. But am I expecting
Uh,
as
Tony,
a must my own kids to have me as their responsibility? No, I am not. I am working hard right now and I am trying to live my life right now. Even as I'm taking care of them, I'm taking care of myself. I am planning for my old age, for my retirement whether or not they decide to do anything for me, I want to be set up such that I'm able to take care of myself. I have helps when I need them, or if I want to, decide to go to a home, for instance, of my own volition. I do not intend to be a burden to any of my children. I intend to do what I can right now to set myself up so that I do not have to be dependent on my own children. Now, if they decide to do anything for me out of love, of course it is welcome. But I am not expecting that they do anything in that regard out of duty. What they owe me is not duty, it's love. And that love can be in any form. I'm not demanding that they come and take care of me in my old age. Whatever they do out of their
So,
own free will, out
Tony,
of their own volition, is welcome. I am working right now. I am planning for my retirement, planning for my old age. In fact, I said earlier, I'm not just even planning for my old age. Right now, as I am taking care of my kids, I'm taking care of myself and my partner's needs right now. So I am not sacrificing all of my own desires and wants and needs for my kids. Yes, I'm making sacrifices for them, but I'm also balancing it and making sure that I and my partner
Hmm.
are taking care of ourselves, because these kids will leave. They will leave the house tomorrow. They will start their own lives. It is I and my partner that will be together. So I am making sure that while I am taking care of them, even now, not just in the future, even now, I am looking after myself well. I will get to it, like I said, shed more light with practical examples on things that I am doing so we can
Right.
understand where I'm coming from. But let's just let other people respond for now.
If you ask,
I have something.
right, go ahead, please. Okay.
Okay, I want to believe that before our generation. Okay, now let's use Bishop time now. To our time, a generation is 15 years. Let's just use Bishop. In their own time, this is what they aspire to do, to be successful so that they can take care of their parents, especially their mother. Mother or mommy, I have arrived. That has always been the theme of everybody in their generation. You understand what I'm saying? And then in the past generation, even ours, the success, our success, we want it to reflect especially on our parents. Now, my concern is something has shifted in the subconscious and the, you understand what I'm saying? That they feel they have this kind of that I can do it on my own. I am independent. I do not need family. I do not need siblings. I do not need anybody. So they are not
Is that really what you're
they are
reading
not,
from?
how do I put it? They are not loyal to anything. They are not living for anything. That's why it is difficult for them. Some of them, when we are talking about majority now. That's why it's difficult for them to be committed to a particular. There are so many things that you are doing that even if you want to stop, you look at the people looking up to you. They're like, ah, man, because of these people, let me just ride on. But they do not have people that are looking up to. They do not have people that are looking up to them. They're just living. That is why it's so easy for them to, like, okay, they get married this very month, and that same year they're calling it a day, because they do not care about whose ox they got. They do not care about whose feeling they are hurting. So it's shifted. Because if you are looking at it now, there are so many things that you will love to do for your parents. Even Tony, sorry about the loss of your parents, but if they're around and you have some, when you buy a car for your mother of 90, you know that she can't ride that car, but you
Okay.
feel fulfilled getting her a driver. Now just take her to church and back home only. At least you'll be happy that okay, I did this for my mother. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Shaya,
Truth.
I don't know what anyone else feels about what Shaya has said. I really see the point in what you say, but I was distracted by the fact that you did something that is another bias again, right? You are trying to sell a narrative that people care more about their mothers. Shaya, perhaps that is your personal, your individual feeling, right? I'm not sure that it's fair to put that out there, that because it just talks about mothers. They're thinking about when they will do this for their mothers, as if that is what is the general thing. I don't think that that's a fair thing to say. I feel that you're trying to corrupt the minds of the viewers to begin to look at life like that. I think that you're doing it deliberately. It's a surreptitious move on your part, and that's why I decided I had to speak so that people will know that this is just Shaya's view, and this is the narrative that Shaya wants to put out there, talking about people and their
No, no, no,
mothers.
no.
Parents
No,
are
wait,
both mother
this
and
is no.
father.
Can I clarify that, please? As at this 00 hour, I am not being sarcastic. Whatever I'm trying to say is this: we love our parents, but there's this soft spot that we have for our mothers. That's what I'm saying. We want to impress. Okay, the forget about the mother thing. I'm saying we want to impress our parents. We want
Mhm.
to bless our parents. You understand? But why is
I
it
feel
that
more
now
comfortable.
they are not concerned about their parents?
Right,
That's just the thing. That's the okay.
right. Okay, so now that sounds more
Tony,
balanced to me.
Uzo.
Right. Okay, Bishop, please. What do you? I think that Shaya has. I think they've. In fact, I think everybody has everything everybody has said. I I agree with wholeheartedly, and I think that we can enrich the conversation even more. I want to ask a question. Did that girl say something wrong? Did she say something wrong?
I,
And
I, I thought that Tony was telling me what he said for me to have a comment on that. That's what I
right.
thought.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Is that overtaken by
Yes.
events?
No, please go ahead. Yes, you're right.
Okay. Well, there is, first of all, like
Introduction.
there's something Shea said. When my generation began to go to university in Nigeria, there were jobs, there were businesses. We lived fairly comfortably. Once you enter into the university, you're a senior civil servant. And we were in the generation that had half a chicken in the cafeteria. And the generation that had two people in a room, they give you two tissue papers per week, give you 4 pillows and one bed sheet per week, and you have two of you sharing a room in the universities of late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, that was the generation I went to school on. Now, our concern those days were to succeed. What do we define as success? Make money, buy a car, build a house in your village, take care of your parents and your younger ones. You were trained to continue with the family culture of training others. You are not trained for you to just go and live well. So you have a mindset of my own son went to university, your own son did not go to university. Now that my son went to university, you can see how well I am. You that didn't send your own child to school is your problem. That was the attitude, which is why you had them call mama doctor or mama engineer or mama lawyer. Now, the woman who's mama nobody, maybe mama motorbiked out, is definitely losing something. I'm trying to create a picture in your minds.
Yes, Chief.
Now,
Yeah.
then imagine this mama doctor hearing from doctor that I won't take care of you in your old age. Is it imaginable?
Not at
That is
all.
that is on the one part. Then on the second part is my generation, for instance, I heard what Tony was saying. I have never remembered that I need to prepare for retirement. I was just training all my children with everything, including the one I don't have. I was throwing everything into them. I never, in fact, thank God for God's mercy. So, what if I had an accident and I had a broken limb? I wouldn't have had an alternative. Because see, I never knew. I said sincerely before God and man. Now, those of you who are operating in the Western Hemisphere, in your place, children leave the house at 18. Now, the system is such that it provides education. You can go and take a loan and go to university there. You're expected to leave the home at 18 and begin to have your own life. In Africa, it's not so. In fact, when your children even graduate from university, you graduate into another level of looking for jobs for them or trying to see how you can manage them at that level. Yeah. So here in Africa, we must make it clear that all through your life, you're training your children, you're looking after your parents, and there is that culture that you grow up with and you sustain. Now, to even hear that a child, okay, what that child that says, Mommy, I will not take care of you in your old age. What if she has an accident now where she loses her limbs, both hand and leg? Will that mother abandon her to death?
Not at all.
Is it only one way we're looking at it? What about the other side of the same coin? If something happens to that child today that she is incapacitated, will she expect anybody to show her some concern?
Will
So
she feel, and
will
if
she
the mother doesn't show her that special concern, will she feel that the mother has done something wrong
exactly,
by not going out of her way because she's an adult
exactly,
now?
exactly. So that's why I say she's just being selfish. There is no guarantee that she will have good health and good life all through. And
Right.
if things don't work that way, what happens? So
Mm.
we're interdependent and interconnected. And then, like Tony was also saying, in today's world, everybody is thinking about retirement preparations because the game is changing. I guess it is conversations like this that is making it necessary that no matter how much you're investing on your children, invest in yourself. Because there are people who have thrown in their all and are getting old, and the children have walked away. May God help none of us to have such a situation. In Jesus' name.
Hmm.
Amen.
Right. So I think we have to tell ourselves the truth, isn't it? And balance is important because we can't throw away anybody's views, even if no matter how trashy they may seem to us.
Yes.
Because a person, as I say, a person does what they do because they believe that that is the right thing. So even if I believe that what I have decided, my decision is the right thing, however nonsensical it may be, I believe it. And it doesn't matter how much the rest of you think that Uzo's opinion is nonsense. This is what I believe and this is what I'm going to do. So what I'm trying to say is, if we notice now, if as a parent one notices that this is actually what one is grappling with, if you're grappling with an individual like that, yes, as Bishop said, something has gone wrong somewhere because just as Tony said, to even use those words, to even say that, to even couch such a statement, to actually say it comfortably,
And
is
walk
not
away.
normal. It is
It's
not.
not
It is
normal.
not. It is not. It is not normal, and it's not all right. It's carelessness because this woman has actually explained their circumstances. She didn't say because of hardship I didn't do this or didn't do that. So it's a callous child, a callous individual that will actually mouth say those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think that it's also important for us to understand that one can have an offspring that turns out that way.
Of course,
One can
yes.
have a nothing because you see in some families there might be maybe four children, four siblings, and or four children, and one of them is like that. So it could be because that particular one was spoiled, or sometimes it happens with maybe the first son. I think we're talking about the other day that some people feel that because of their position in the family, they have this entitlement position where they are the Lord and their word is king. So then they become so spoiled and entitled that they don't even know where nobody corrects them. They just get used to it. So somebody can end up like that, right? So if we bring up our child to end up like that, then we turn around and we're shocked when that is what they display. You know, we have to pay attention to it. If we turn around and start telling everybody, imagine what my son did or what my son said or what my daughter, we have to examine ourselves and the role that we played in that child's life to create an individual who has turned out this way. And I think another thing is, I think it's a mistake when we allow titles to determine the way that we respond to a person's character. The person is showing a certain type of character, and we say, because it's my child, this is my opinion, just my opinion. Because it's my child, I will be more accommodating. I will be more patient than I will be with the next person's child. The next person is going to come back to bite us at the end of the day, because um, if you know that somebody does something to you and you're going to set your boundaries and correct that person right there, when we allow our children to escape without bringing those boundaries up, these are the things that come back later to play out in our lives. So forever and
I,
ever, I will always say, yeah.
can I bring in? There's a caveat I want to introduce.
Hmm.
I see where the moderator is going. And by virtue of the privilege of being the anchor person, sometimes when you have the microphone, it conveys some privileges.
Hmm.
That is life in reality. But I think that what is facing us is, if one is in a situation like the woman that the daughter has told this thing to, what should she do?
Okay.
We might blame the person, no matter how much. My people say that no matter how much you blame a dead body, you got to bury the body.
Hmm.
So, what is our advice to somebody who has such a situation?
Mhm.
My premise in my submission about the child is that my people say that when you drive away the fox first, then you come back and tell the chicken that you too waka. That time the fox is outside. Yeah. So what I'm communicating in effect is that, having told off the little girl in her silly little arrogant behavior, we need to come back and say, okay, how do we manage this situation? How do we control the extent of the damage? Yeah. First of all, anybody who has access to that girl should help her to know that she's just talking because she's alive and well. Something can happen to her tonight, not even tomorrow. Something can happen to her tonight that makes her realize that she needs people.
She's 25.
I said, even if she's 90,
Okay.
something can. I went to a hospital. A very high profile Nigerian had just taken some food that poisoned him. When I entered into the hospital, this mighty man was crying like a child. Then again, I know when a certain man who was a governor at a point in time, minister for youth, he went on inspection of facilities and just entered Western House. As soon as he entered the lift, they took light. The man just he got disoriented immediately. He started crying that this thing has never happened. It's just now that he was made minister that they want to. I mean, so you know what I'm just bringing out? Life is so uncertain that you cannot speak like that. You need help yourself. Okay? So we need to educate the little girl. He says she's 25. As far as I'm concerned, she's little. Because if you remove 25 from my age, I'm almost 50. So she's little. And she doesn't have any experience. There are things that life carries that you can't be so certain about. There's no guarantee that it is even her mother that will need help from her. She may be the one needing help tomorrow, the way life works. So what I'm therefore saying is we need to, after blaming her, educate her to realize that you cannot be so confident. It's too much pride that makes you sound so certain. Then we come to the parents. We blame the parents that somewhere along the line, parenting failed. For this child to be talking like this, Mama, there are things you didn't do well. But having said that, be encouraged. She will learn. Life teaches people lessons. Something can just happen tomorrow that will make her turn back and say, I didn't know. I didn't
I have a
factor
little
this.
bit of a concern there. You know,
Sorry, Uzo. Sorry, I really would love to hear Sheye because when Bishop was speaking, he was raising his hand. So can we give
Okay.
Sheye the opportunity, please? Yes. Sheye, you wanted to say
Well,
something about so you don't lose your train of thought. Yes.
it wasn't about what Bishop was saying, really. But I saw that there was a space for me to quickly chip in something. It's just I think the atmosphere tonight is just that's what I'm having issue with. Maybe it's because it's the first time that we all are having a particular topic that we share the same orientation, distilled form of conversation. You understand? I think I personally will have to find my route back to being a devil's advocate. I think I want to be like this. That okay, Bishop is talking,
okay,
nobody's challenging Bishop.
okay.
Tony
What
is
opportunity
talking,
have you seen?
the pencil
I,
Tony.
I have things that I want to say, but I'm waiting my
Okay,
turn.
okay. Like now, let me start with what Madam have said that if you have a child, this and this and that,
This and this and that.
I don't-
Hmm?
it's not allowed.
What is not
Don't
allowed?
give unnecessary. Don't
Unnecessary
try
what?
and excuse. You are trying to excuse the girl. No, that if you are it's possible for you to have 4 children and one will not go astray. I mean, may not
Not
be in uniform
excusing
with
her.
others.
No, not excusing her.
That's
I'm
what you are doing
horrified.
indirectly.
I'm horrified at your expression
So
that
then
you
you
will
now
say that
give
I'm
her,
excusing.
you ended up giving her soft landing. You did that. By
Really?
uh, okay, okay,
How do
defend
how,
yourself.
how do you interpret things in this way? This is baffling.
I like this. Oh yeah, defend now. I'm
Okay, no
waiting.
problem. No problem.
Tony
Cynthia.
and Bishop, do you actually? I was about to say what I was about to say before Tony before Tony stopped me. I was about to say
Mm.
that I have an issue with when Bishop said something about she will learn. I have an issue with this. I like it. I like the fact that you have a lot of faith in human beings. But I'm always trying to remind us, you know, we cannot project our own sanity. We cannot project our own good intentions on other human beings. Other people make up their minds for whatever reason. Some people even have a pessimistic or negative outlook on life, right? And these people need
And
to be what they need
you
to
think
be sorry,
do you think
Shall
people can change? Do you
no,
think people can
no,
change?
no. So my thing is that we people can change, right? People can change. But let us not go out there with the belief that this person is going to change, right? Let us
What you don't
approach
know
it.
that
Let us approach it.
some of us, some
And
of
I
us
what I
are
was going
in,
to suggest, what I was going to
some of
suggest
us
is instead of saying that a person will
like
change, let us say let us give the person the opportunity, right? By, me, whatever, talking, counseling, and all that. But at the same time, the parents who find themselves in this situation need to come to grips with the reality that this is the person that I have, that I'm dealing with, right? And if you leave such a person, people have been known, offspring have been known to be the murderers of their own parents. There have been people like that. So we cannot go out with all that optimistic belief that just because it is one's child, one is necessarily, they're going to change,
Observation.
or that we're safe.
Observation.
We're safe, right?
Observation. Observation.
Bishop,
Just
Yeah.
an observation. I don't know what was studied in the university.
law. She studied law.
Okay.
Right?
I have a reason for saying this. There are those who studied social science. There is a way they present language. For instance, I don't blame Sheye for intervening in the way he intervened. I know what you said. I see what Sheye is reacting to, and I don't blame him. You know why?
Tell us.
That's what is called a normal curve in statistics. In a normal curve situation, you have your majority behavior. And it is the majority behavior that social scientists use to build theories of behavior. So
Exactly.
you don't
Satire.
make provisions for exceptions.
Who?
You are not
Yes, you
listening.
don't.
Bishop, repeat it again. She didn't get that.
No,
You
are
have to
you saying
repeat it again.
we shouldn't make provisions for exceptions, or
Yes, in in
we shouldn't do
in
that?
classical in classical situations like this, we say this is a normal behavior.
Okay.
You don't use exceptions to make a rule, even in conversations.
And
You
did
don't
someone do
even,
that?
as a matter of fact, you don't even recognize it. It's an exception. When it then happens, we say, this is not provided for. However, in economics, they talk about ceteris paribus, all things
Mm-hmm.
being equal. So when things are not equal, it's anomalous, like they say the anomalous expansion of water for science people. Do you use it as a model? We don't use it as a model.
Not at all.
But it is
Not
anomalous.
at
That's
Bishop.
why
all.
we noticed it and we're looking for how to deal with it.
Oh, Bishop, what you
I don't
said
know
is
if these are
correct.
making any sense.
No, what you said is correct. What you said is correct.
Okay.
However, remember that human beings, we're talking about somebody's offspring, somebody's child. Remember that almost everybody will want to accept wholeheartedly your statement that she will change. I will just leave it there.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
before
fine.
I leave it there, I think it will be remiss of me. We have to, exceptions are exceptions. They're exceptions, and that's
Yeah.
because they're not the
They are not normal.
usual expectation, right? Sometimes we're even over generous in saying that something is an exception just because it is what we want to believe. Do you know that at a point I thought that the word normal meant the right thing? I want us to think about it. Normal does not mean the right thing. Normal means what what pervades mostly, right?
Pervasive,
Do you know what
Yeah.
do
dominant
you,
mentality.
do you know what they call madness in psychology? In
Tell me
psychology,
or tell us.
madness is a deviation from the norm.
Hmm.
Statistical deviations, statistical deviations from the norm,
Mm-hmm.
like schizophrenia, like psychosis, all the like multiple personality behaviors. These are
Mm-hmm.
deviations from the norm. As far as psychology is concerned, a deviation is just not normal.
Yes, but I agree to it to an extent, but a lot of things are changing today with greater knowledge and awareness. Also, what is normal is relative. If this conversation between mother and child was had between people living in the West, it may not the feelings we're deriving from
Yeah,
it as people who
yeah,
live here
may
may
not
not be
convey
the
the same
same
weight.
that people
Yes,
over there
correct.
would derive for it. So
Yes.
normal is also relative, because in that context, this kind of conversation where parents plan and kids do their thing, it's normal, right? I also
Yeah,
think while here in Africa, right, we live a communal life. We're not as individualistic as the people in the West are. We live a communal life, but we also have to understand that as much as we want to encourage that because of the merits, we also can't continue to do everything the way the way
Okay.
we used to do it just because that's how it's always been done. Now, as much
Okay.
as we're saying that this child may not have acted, in the most generous or gracious or polite manner in the way she presented her thoughts, I also see here amongst us in Africa that parents have a sense of entitlement when it comes to their children and care for them. We need to start to understand that what we do for our children is our responsibility.
Oh,
It is
you're
not
very correct.
it is not a
no,
future investment. My
I
child,
beg to differ.
Tamira
I
and
beg to
Jaden.
differ.
Okay, yes, you will have your say, Bishop. My children
Okay,
are not my retirement plan. I
okay,
am working towards my own retirement plan. All I am
okay,
doing for my children, I do because I owe it to them, not because I am
okay,
expecting anything back from them. I owe it to them
okay,
because they did not
okay.
ask to be born. But I am planning for myself so that whether or not they are there, I am fine. In fact, I pray to be so okay that I can even add to them. I can
Of course.
bequeath things to them. Now, if out of their own generosity, they remember daddy and say, "Oh, daddy, I buy
No,
you
Tony,
this car, this Porsche,
Tony,
this," I will
you
welcome
have
it.
said that,
But I am
you
not
have said that more than
expecting
three
it.
times. You have said it more than three times already. You see this thing
Yes,
you're saying now, at
yes.
least three times. Yeah. So let's save that time. See, let me tell
Okay.
you why I say I beg to differ.
No, the reason I'm
Your
saying
flow
this is I see that there's a
emphasis.
here
Hold on.
entitlement on
Hold,
the part of parents.
no, hold on.
Parents see their children
We
as
have
retirement
understood it.
plans. Should we
No,
continue to do it that way? That's my question.
no,
That's
that
also
is
a
what we are
point.
critiquing. That's what we are
Moderator,
critiquing. You see this
moderator,
point?
why are you giving Tony time more than us? Huh?
No, I waited my
Bishop,
turn.
why
Oh.
is moderator
Wait.
asking Tony to speak more than us? The
I
duration that
waited
she
my
gave.
Okay.
turn.
I am critiquing that Tony's position.
Okay.
What he is saying is also my desire and prayer before God. I'm not leaving myself for anybody anymore here, as a matter of fact. However, if it is my responsibility to bring you up, if it is my responsibility to pour my all as a result of love, how come it is not your responsibility to take care of me at a certain age when I'm no longer as vibrant? The same argument, just the other side of the
Okay.
same coin.
Bishop, can I say something?
That's one. No,
Can I
hold
say
on, hold on.
something?
That's one. Let me land now. That's one.
No,
Then second point.
it's a rhetorical question.
Second point.
Okay.
Oh my God. Can I land, please? Second
Yeah,
point.
just hold on. Let Bishop make his point. Then please hold your train of thought. Hold the thought.
Yes, just please. The second point is this. Have you watched people from Asia in Queens, in New York, or in Canada? A father comes in and rents a house, brings up his son in the house, trains him all through school. He hasn't finished paying the mortgage. He becomes old. The son continues with the mortgage. The house is bought over. At that stage, the father and the mother are functioning like house helps while the son is working. The mortgage is finished. That property now becomes the property of the Asian family. And
Child.
that becomes, yes,
Okay.
that becomes the asset of the big family.
Elect.
So
Yeah.
you don't veer off from this family culture. One, Jews, Jews. The Jews say that if you don't give your child a particular profession, you have trained him to be a crook. So it is not just about social responsibility. It's about communal effort. That's why you see Jewish community, when a boy begins to misbehave, they invite him and say, my brother, my son, listen, sit down. We want you to understand that it is not just about your life, but that your life affects this community. You are attracting, let me use the word curse, to the community, not just to you. So the child grows up knowing that I belong to this community. In Igbo land, one man doesn't train a child. The child is a property of the community. And the child grows up knowing that I belong to this community. Everything I do, I owe a responsibility to this community to plant back or plow
Umuna.
back into this community. So you see, when we have these conversations, we need to stretch it beyond personal convictions, and we need to know that there are societies in which we function.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
see your point, Bishop. I see
Yeah.
your point. What I
So,
was
yeah.
trying to do is also interrogate the dominant mentality amongst us as Africans. Because like when I started, I said in you cited the example of Asia. I know people in India live a very communal life, but it's not so
Oh,
much for people in Europe and maybe in America. It's not so much like that. So when we talk about normality, it's also relative. It's and contextual. It's what I was trying to say.
but the
Yes.
point I'm making is that we always have a way of being swayed with Western models. Eh?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Can I
I don't
land?
think
Should I stop? Should I just stop
no,
there?
no, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop.
I see that we always, maybe because of their pop culture. You know what they call pop culture?
Who is we? Who is we? No,
Generally, in our society here,
that's true.
anything coming from America is celebrated too much. Even spirituality.
I agree.
We,
Same
we
thing
are
with
more
religion.
we are more
That's why we
spiritual.
threw away our traditional ways and
Exactly. We are more spiritual
took
than they are.
Christianity and Islam and the
Yes.
That is
likes.
true.
Hold on.
Same thing.
I'm even saying that inside Christianity, the African Christian is more spiritual than Oyibo, because Oyibo doesn't
Don't
have
you say that
spiritual
again?
sensitivity.
Don't you say that again?
Of
What?
course,
Tony,
it's always been
can
my
you repeat?
belief. It's the same
Look,
thing. It
so what I'm
applies to
saying,
everything. We dump,
okay,
I agree. We dump
uh
our own things and we adopt their own.
and we adopted hook, line, and sinker. Now, in media, in communication, which is my particular field, you find that everything called news, there are three agencies that market news worldwide. TASS, um, what do you call it? IB, what is the other one? There are four of them. All the news we hear in the world is coming from these four agencies. So if this news doesn't get to these four agencies, then it's not news. I tell people, Nigeria, yesterday,
Four
if you watch
what?
if you check my Facebook page, I went and brought out a pie chart showing social media crime worldwide. As a matter of fact, Nigeria is not even mentioned as having a social media crime problem. 15 nations that were discussed about social media criminality. America, China are having the lion's share. Nigeria is not even mentioned. Meanwhile, EFCC, in the attempt to attract American funding, will create the impression that there must much crime in Nigeria. Go down the streets in New York. There are streets in New York, if you come out, you run back to Nigeria. We don't have as much drug problem as they do. But our media people project the wrong image in their attempt to attract foreign funding.
Can we go back
Yeah.
to our conversation, because I'm even getting lost?
Well,
and I wanted to make a point.
I am bringing it back to say that Asia has a family model. Europe has a family model. Jewish people have a family model. We Africans have. Why must we adopt the one that is American stroke
Okay,
English?
I don't know if anybody has tried to sway us into adopting.
If you
adopting
watch our conversation, you will
Yeah.
see that we are tending towards the child. This argument about I'm not dependent on my children for my future. I plan my own retirement. All those things are actually Western models.
No, I think
Okay.
I think it's what is worth thinking
Interrogating.
about,
It's worth
because I do
interrogating.
not personally, I do not want to place any burden on my own children. No burden. I don't expect anything of them other than love. Whatever they do
Inform
for me, let it be
this
organic. Let
your
it be out of
conviction,
love.
your
Let it not be out of
conviction,
duty. I don't
your
want duty.
conviction is
I
the
want
point I'm
love.
making is that Tony, the point I'm making is that your conviction
Hmm.
has its roots in the Western model.
No, it's rationality. Anything that is done as a must, I
Your
do not
definition
want.
of your
I
definition
want
of
Bishop,
organic.
rationality,
I want
Bishop,
things that are organic. If your
Bishop, can
love
you
for me is because
let's leave it.
I've done something for you, then it's no love.
Tony,
I want whatever you're doing, I want you to do it from your heart, not
Can you,
because I have done something from you.
Tony, can
If
you
you're
hear
doing
me?
something for somebody
Tony,
because they can do something back, it's not genuine anymore.
remove
It's not
yourself,
genuine.
remove yourself from the picture. See community, see
Okay.
society,
How
see
about this?
family.
Yes,
I
I see it, but my point is we can't place and say that this is a must. It has to be.
I don't
Let
think they're
them do
mutually
it by
exclusive.
themselves.
I
Let's
really
not
don't
say
think they're
that
mutually
they must
exclusive.
do this. We place a
I
lot
don't
of pressure on these children too without knowing. We
I don't
place
think
a
that what
lot
Tony
of
is saying
burden
cannot
on these
exist
children.
side by side. I don't think that his position cannot exist side by side with
Yes, they can
communal,
exist side, they
because
can
I
stay
don't,
side by
yeah,
side. I'm
because I
not
don't
like,
think that, if you
yeah.
ask me, what I observe from the conversation is we have communal living, which we must not let go of. And it's
I agree,
important.
absolutely.
It's important because actually this is the normal and natural course of life, and natural law of life, right? You cannot have fulfillment when we don't have a give and take relationship. That is really what, in fact, that is the commandment of
Community,
life.
companionship.
That is the commandment of life. It is give and take. So if the parents have given to the children, those children should, it is actually a natural law that they should give to the parents. But you don't have to obey you don't have to do the right thing, is what I am trying to say. You don't have to do it, because if your spirit is a negative spirit, and I also want the parents to know, though it is the right thing and it is a natural thing for them to do, understand that there are those ones who will be that way. Prepare yourself for it. If you don't prepare yourself for it, you will not prepare yourself for your retirement. That's actually what I'm trying. That's my own position. I'm not saying that I'm clapping for them. And Shaya accused me of
that's
giving a soft landing. No,
that's
I'm not
exactly
giving you
what
a soft landing. I'm only telling you to prepare your mind that work towards teaching your child the right values, right? But understand that if you're not paying attention, you can create an entitlement mentality in your child. And if you didn't create it and your child happens to be that person that has that, so to say, evil spirit. And when I say it, I don't mean it in the way that we Nigerians talk about it. Let me just say in negative, yeah, if that person happens to be that person, you
As a
cannot
matter
walk
of
around
fact, I am
without
running
opinion.
Tony's model. I am running Tony's model.
Huh?
But it is good
I
to.
think we should hear Sheye. Let's hear Sheye. Sheye hasn't
Yeah.
Oh,
spoken.
sorry. Oh, sorry.
Sheye, go ahead.
You have the floor now, Shea. You're still raising your hand.
moderator, be mindful. You don't like us interrupting you, and when we raise our hand, you don't acknowledge it. What should
And
we
now that you
do?
have the floor, instead of going ahead, Okay, what did you
The same
contribute?
thing, and we will fight tonight. And whatever Tony was trying to say, I think I got the drift of Tony. That okay, if your kids they are giving you blessings, at the end of the day, it's an addendum. It is not an expectation, so that your hopes will not be dashed. That is fine. And then
Yes.
whatever Bishop was trying to say is that there's a collapse of societal structure. We have the structure
Fantastic.
that is well maintained, that has been collapsed, that is causing the problem. Now, the solution that Tony was preferring, even though he was trying to deny it, was rooted, firmly rooted in a Western ideology. And you may not
Exactly.
know this. There are so many things that we
Exactly.
do. You don't need the source, or so to
Okay.
say. You don't find yourself doing it. It's a function of your environment. So that's just it. Now, I feel the learning curve here is
Uh-huh.
that when things are working, there's no reason for us to destroy it. The Bible says,
Okay.
remove not the ancient landmarks. But it is working. Why should we destroy
Pastor
it? And
Shea.
look at the impact now. That's why I always blame the slave trade. The slavery was far, far beyond cutting people away from here and taking them. It cut our spiritualness, it cut off our societal structure, it cut our family and everything that we believe, even our own
I think we can
spirituality,
make that
our
point. We can
religion.
make that point. We can make
So
that point without
that is the
accusing
root cause
Tony
of all this
wrongly.
problem.
I think
And
that
then
we can
whatever
make that point.
Bishop was saying something that's so fundamental. Watch a child. I'm coming. Just
Go
let me
ahead.
land. It says exhibited some certain traits. Now, if you have a child, what did he say?
We're listening.
Continue. Go ahead,
I think
Shea.
No,
he's even
but
frozen. Oh,
He's speaking Yoruba. Continue now, Sheye.
I think there's a lag.
there's a lag. Yeah. I would
oh,
okay,
okay.
until he gets back
So
to us, I want to say quickly that
okay, it was
I
actually
don't think
now.
I think we can make
Okay.
that point of holding on to the communal thing that we have because even the West is envious of that. They know that those
Yes.
black are creating issues. There is because when
Yes.
you don't have natural love and a give and take relationship, it's a big problem. We can uphold that without accusing Tony because what Tony has also said is trying to bring some balance because there is someone right here with me in Canada. This is a full-grown man with his own family, right? His mother called him. In fact, more than one person has done this. This actually two men I know because the mother will be talking with this entitlement attitude. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. She doesn't know what this person is going through in this place. And then she comes and she makes demands and she just says whatever she wants to say. She makes those demands. So this guy said, Mom, I'm going to cut the phone. I'm going to drop the phone. I want you to drop because I don't want to drop the phone on you. And she kept on talking and talking. And he told her again, I'm going to drop the phone. And then he had to drop that call. He left his, and he hasn't spoken to her for months. The second one, she called, she was making demands without even appreciating all the things that he had done. And then she actually called at one point to ask him, to question him, did you send this so and so and so? How can you send that? And she was being that, throwing that entitlement behavior again. And he just said, really? Because he had really gone through a lot of stress to be able to do what he had done, right? So it is that thing that I believe you're going to say that I'm making excuses for Tony, but I think that that is what we should also, that's also important. We can't just say a person because they are parents. I always say it's a human being you're dealing with. Everybody deserves respect, right? Whether it is your child that is person, they still deserve respect. They are a human being. So those two things are not
We
mutually
have a particular
exclusive. You don't have to say that we're
Uzo.
adopting
Don't you have a
Western behaviors because we are paying
I can't
attention
hear what
to.
no?
Sheye is saying.
We have a story that we are dissecting. Why are you creating another story?
because you don't
No,
want to hear
Why are
the
you
truth.
creating
it's
another?
important.
Why
It's
don't you? Because
important.
they are
We
together.
can't just look.
It makes sense.
We can't just look at the story in
No,
isolation.
no,
We also have to
no.
link it
He doesn't like the
with
narrative.
other real
He
life
doesn't like.
experience.
You are
You don't like
expanding
the
the
truth.
narrative to your own point. That is totally out of
What
it.
is my
This
point?
lady,
No,
I'm bridging the two. I am trying to
this
bridge
lady
the two.
question told the mother, don't what? No, 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 no,
Well,
no. If you
I've
have not
already done
created
it.
a
Sheye,
topic for us to
I've
discuss
already
with a
done it,
story
and
backing
there's
it
yes,
up,
nothing you can do
I wouldn't
about
have
it.
talked this way. You brought a topic. And we are-
Okay,
yes,
Yeah,
Bishop.
but
Bishop, is there a
Sheye,
problem with that?
Sheye, if I may say, I think you also have a particular
I'm coming for you.
line
Tony,
of
I'm
thought,
listening.
a particular way that you want this conversation to go.
It's not
But
fair now.
personally, I see there are several parts to this conversation. It doesn't have to be just one.
It
I have
doesn't have to be.
identified several. And the point that you made, the point Bishop made,
No,
and
Tony, what did you
also
say? Tony,
re-echoed about community,
okay.
the importance, that point is very important and well noted, and we must try to encourage
Yeah,
that. But
yeah, absorb.
also, we must we must stop seeing our kids as our retirement plans. Whatever
We've
we
talked
do,
about that. We accepted that, man.
yes, whatever we do out of responsibility and genuine love, not because we expect them to pay us back. A lot of parents, we're talking entitlement of children, a lot of parents are entitled. The examples Uzo gave, there are many like that. Many want their children to be their retirement plan. No, we have to make our own retirement plan so that
But come,
whatever
Tony, I want
our
to
kids
ask a
give us
question.
is added blessing. And I'm not even just talking retirement plan. I said I was going to use some examples. I'm talking even now. You see, one of the reasons people run into problems, I'm not as experienced as Bishop, but I have been very observant, and people talk to me about what is happening with them. Different people talk to me. The problem is that
Counselor.
in most marriages, in most homes,
Sheye, Sheye
the
is striking me.
partners abandon the relationship between them
And
and
focus on the
focus
children.
everything
Tony, not
on the
again.
children.
Not
Yes,
again.
You don't like that, huh?
yes. It's linked, Sheye. It's linked to this topic. Now,
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying this is a friend of mine, okay, just for the purpose of this group, my kids just left for the UK 2 weeks ago, as in relocated to join their mother. They will be schooling there. Now, in deciding the type of schools to go, of course, we checked our joint finances and I spoke to friends over there. One of my friends has the first daughter in a private school. That guy is crying to me and telling me he made the biggest mistake by sending his daughter to a private school when the combined income of he and his wife could not really sustain that kind of venture. Now, the action is coming from a good place because you want to do good. You want to give your children the best. But in giving them the best, should you now deny yourself or put yourself under unnecessary strain? If my finances at this
And
time
this stress.
cannot afford sending them to a private school, why can't I do the government school? Why can't I put that money into other uses for myself and my partner or for my future? So in making decisions about schooling, all of those things have to be considered. I'm not working just for the children. I'm working for myself and my partner. I'm not talking about the future. I'm talking about now. So as much as I'm talking about, yes, retirement plan and all of that, even in taking care of my children, and I think it's important that our viewers start thinking along these lines. We need to start balancing the care that we
Right.
show to our kids and what we show to ourselves and our partners.
Point.
It's
May,
Full
very,
may I
point.
add?
very, very
May I
important.
even add
Very
something to
important.
this? May I add something
We
to this? May I
focusing
add
on that.
something to
Yes.
this? I believe that if in the
No,
process of doing this the best for my children in that man's position, if anything goes wrong, right, in the process of doing that, or if in the future he now says, and look at what I went through in order to do this, people are going to now accuse that child of, and the father went as far as doing so. Whereas what he did, he didn't have to go to that extent. He could have done something else, but he made that choice to go to the extreme position in order to do what he
Observation.
believes is the best for his child.
Observation.
Can we be mindful
Observation
of
again.
things as well?
Observation again. You see, all you need to end up in error is overemphasis. Something as simple as an overemphasis.
Yeah, balance is key, isn't it? That's what
Yeah,
we're trying to say. Balance is
yeah.
key.
So what I'm bringing to our attention is this. What about the children? We have been talking about parents. Your children are not your retirement plan. True. Parents must plan so that they don't become burdensome. There are lots of families whose children just quarantine them at old age in your Western civilization. Just take them and dump in old people's home.
We know that we already talked about it. It's not natural and it's not loving. We know that. But is it also
That's what,
are they also
that's
able to manage it?
that's hold on now. That's the point we are bringing to the table.
No, I
That
don't think.
as much as we look at this other side, let's also look at this other side. So what is the central position? Nobody should make their children their hope for retirement. Nobody should. But at the same time, the children should not just walk away.
I don't think that what the example you gave just now is full and right. You know why, Bishop? Because that would be
Even the other examples we are giving,
yeah.
have the same faith. You know what I'm saying? Your child
No,
should
no,
not be
no,
a
no, no.
retirement plan. Yes.
Let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way. You're
All
talking
right.
about people who live here, right? People who live here.
People who
How
live
is it?
there
How can
and
it? We're
people,
talking. We're
there are
talking about
parents that
you're talking about people who live here sending their parents to old people's homes. Do you
in
think
Nigeria,
that it is
in
possible?
Nigeria, in
Yeah.
Nigeria, there is the equivalent of old people's home. Are you aware?
I thought you just talked about people who live here. I thought that was
It
what you
is
talked about.
generally there are children that just walk away.
I'm trying to say that people who live here, right? It is a different set of rules that apply. Can they even afford to? They might even keep those parents at home, and that parents will have less care for being there because what if they are doing a job where they are all around the clock, they're coming home at odd hours? You have to take into consideration the circumstances. I'm not saying that I
Well,
like it. I'm not saying that I
in
like it. And that's
in
why
a
we start to think, what are we going to do when retirement time comes?
this
Because
supports Tony's argument.
you can't
What
expect them
you're
to give
so
what they don't have.
what you're saying is a very strong support for Tony's argument that you should
I'm not trying
plan.
to support. I don't think what he's saying is supporting this. I don't think
No,
that's what
the
he's
idea
trying to
is don't leave yourself at the mercy of circumstances and situations, including that of the life of your children. That is the
perfect.
conclusion of Tony's point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I am also saying that children should also not leave their parents at the whims and caprices of circumstances of life.
I don't know
That's
what
just
else
the
to
point I'm
say.
making.
Yes, both
Fair enough.
positions
I don't know what
hold
else to
true.
say.
Yes.
I don't think any normal person would want to clap for children for living their. I think it goes without saying. I don't think anybody should want to applaud that. I think it goes
Just
without
like
saying.
nobody should applaud a father who thinks that his children are his retirement plan. It's still
No,
an
but people
argument.
do now. But people do. They prop him up and say yes.
People also do the other one. You see, the problem is those are just dissing.
People do what? How can any normal? I said normal. How can any normal person do that?
There are so many normal people who just walk away, who do not have a sense of responsibility.
It's not normal now. That's not normal.
I am saying that, okay, so the people, I'm just saying it is a normal behavior, but a lot of people do it.
All right.
So
Okay.
there
So
is a spectrum. There's a
Yeah.
spectrum. There's a spectrum from -10 to +10. That's all I'm saying. Let's balance it.
I will not be raising up my hands again. I will be, I will not be raising my hands
you
again.
will
I will
just
be
jump in.
interrupting.
Sorry.
If that will be the,
Sorry.
you don't acknowledge that
Sorry,
now.
Sheye. I thought you
No,
went to
not you,
change your
sir.
jacket.
Now, who's up?
All right.
Now, just off my jacket. Okay, back to, I wanted to say something. You understand? Tony was all
Oh
out
my
about
gosh.
parents preparing for their own future and all that. Now, don't forget the major reason, apart from love, why a parent will look out for their kids is because they are vulnerable. They are kids. They are young. They do not know anything. Is the function of the is the right of the parent to
It's
train
the right
up
of the
those
children.
kids, right?
It's the
Am I
right of
right?
the children.
Tony, am I right?
No, it's the responsibility of the parents and the right of the
Tony,
children.
all right. Can you
Yes.
hear
I'm
me?
hearing.
Oh God, oh,
We're
network
hearing
will
you.
deliver.
Yes, we can hear
Hello?
you. Go ahead.
Sheye, Sheye, why are you getting exasperated? We're hearing you.
Okay. Can you
Yes,
hear
we
me
can
now?
hear you.
Okay. Okay, I was saying it's the responsibility of the parent to teach their, okay, good. Their words. Number one, they are inexperienced. Number two, they are vulnerable. Number three, they are young. All right, let's take it that way. Do you know that by the time you are old, you become vulnerable? It is the function, is the responsibility of your kids to take care of you because you are vulnerable. Even if you stash all the money in this world into your bank account, if your kids are not there to guide you, somebody may scam you, and even, you understand? Okay, what happens to parents that loses their memory?
Yes.
We
Do you
all
Trauma.
understand what I'm saying?
I
Trauma.
think we're all in
And the
agreement
kid,
with that. I think we're all in agreement with that. Can't see how anybody
Like
can. Yeah.
that's what we're saying. That the thing swings, you know, any which
so
way.
it's not enough. It's not enough to prepare for your later days without the love of your kids.
That's a very
You
important
never
point
can
that you
tell.
just brought up.
That's a
Because
very yes, a
unfortunately, I
very
think
new
the
angle.
conversation was looking like monetary care. Now
Exactly.
we are talking about a different type of investment
Care.
that's
Care
not
is not just
financial.
about money. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that point.
Yeah. Okay. Share you've Share, thank you very much for bringing that. I think we've dealt with the topic enough. We've given it a robust we brought in robust points, unless there's something else. Tony, you look like you have some notes. Is there something you want to share with us before we
Yeah,
close?
no, I noted different things and I have talked about the just recap, like agreeing with everyone that today the generation of young people seem to be losing that sense of community and are becoming more individualistic. So it's important to nurture them such that they see the value in community. And if they see the value, you won't even need to place any burden on them. They
Yes.
would naturally do those things. For instance, I say that I'm saying it again. I'm not expecting any
Bishop,
children. Nothing. Or my children tell me, oh, when I eat, I will buy you a car, I will buy you this, I will buy you that. Because there's that, relationship, companionship, sense of belonging, and all of that. But I'm not demanding, is what I'm trying to say, right? But if you nurture them right, then of their own volition, they will do certain things. But I don't want to place any burden on them. So I am planning for my own time. And then I was also talking before about couples. And this just to end with this, couples doing more for themselves and not doing everything just for the kids. Just plan, do vacation, just us. The kids will be fine. They will be fine. Give them the basics, give them shelter, give them food, give them education. But don't kill yourself. Like that, my friend's example I gave. You have to think of yourselves too, the partners, because these kids will go. You will be left. You will be left. So as you are planning their school fees, to be planning both of you's enjoyment, not just in the future, now. Because a lot of things, it's when we say retirement, we're always thinking future. Yes, it's important. But now, right now, what are we doing to better our lives? And who says that retirement we're planning for at age 60? Who says we'll be there?
I have forgotten how to enjoy life. I don't know what you mean enjoy life, actually.
Enjoy life, go on vacations. Go on vacations where we can afford it. Even if it's staycation, spend money on ourselves, not just on the kids. Those things.
I have a question. This is my own conclusion. So before we call it a day, Tony, when last did you go on vacation?
In
what year?
January, February this year, and I'm going next month. I'm seeing my family in the UK next month.
Okay, good. Okay, you're going next month. No, you are traveling is different from going on vacation. Are you going on vacation?
I went on vacation in January, February this year.
Okay.
Last year, I also went to Italy last year.
On vacation?
Vacation, yes.
Good. All right. Madam Uzo, same question.
I'm sorry, I'm not sharing any personal information online.
No personal. Okay, don't tell me the venue.
When last did I go on vacation?
Bishop.
You see, for me,
no, I don't move. Don't share it again. No. Bishop, I want to hear you, sir.
I don't know. Me, I'm vacationing and working. I don't know the difference, actually. I just relax. I'm telling you. Life is good. Okay, what do I do when I go on vacation? I'll still be answering my phones. I'll be eating normally. I will sleep normally. I don't know. What is vacation?
Good environment, new environment, tranquility,
my environment is very good.
All right. So, Shai, you don't want to say anything. I will say my closing will be that, honestly, there is something that I feel that we don't talk enough about. And Shaya brought that up. I would have thought that before now, it would just be a given that people need to understand that. I mean, what Tony was saying about that sense of entitlement. We just don't have, I think we have a problem in our culture. We don't respect the next person's individuality and dignity. I think we are very entitled and we need to watch it. And don't say, I know you're going to accuse me of being westernized, but this is a fact because all the people that you're dealing with, the young people that you're talking about, they are living in a global world. We're living in a global world now. And so one thing that a human being doesn't want is for you to have that feeling that you're actually making them to something. They begin to have this what is a resistance feeling to, even if it's something that is even for their own good, they will have a resistance feeling towards it. So we should be more conscious of not positioning ourselves to look like we're having an entitlement behavior or attitude. So the biggest thing that I think that we should be shining light on is that when you're talking about care from a child to the parents have now become vulnerable when they're older, and there are so many dangers facing older people. And who else is there to take care of the parents more than their own offspring? That is the one thing that I would like all of us to take away from here. It's not financial we're talking about now. We're talking
Yeah.
about care, natural care from the heart. Because if you don't do it for your parents, then who is going to do it? And while we're at it, I'm also going to state we know that there are some parents who alienated their children, but they are expecting this from their children. It's hard, if not impossible. Maybe we'll be talking more about that some other time. I don't know. You cannot pour, like that lady said, if you pour dirty water, it's really hard. And yeah, so remember that. Because there's a lady who was trying to us on the panel one time. Her children do not even take a phone call because every time she calls, she wasn't there for them. And now every time she calls, she's wanting them to do for her. And so they decided to not even be paying attention to her. And if people hear that, it will be like, oh, what wicked children. Yeah, it is good to have a heart of, you know, a positive heart towards even people who have done you wrong. But you don't know whether it's not convenient for them. I'm not going to inconvenience myself for somebody, stretch myself for somebody who was not doable for me, my DNA. So I don't share. Share. Share is frozen.
Sure. He
So
has drawn. He has drawn his closing point now. So just close us.
so Bishop, all right.
Yeah, just close us. We have done well. Most of what
Okay,
needs to be said has been said.
all right. Tony, we're good. We're good.
Yes.
Okay. All
I think
right.
you should acknowledge the people in the comment section. Tales by
Yes.
Vicky, Explore with Meg. Thank you for your comments
Thank you so much.
and
Yes. For
contribution.
Africa's live for their children, and it's so sad. Okay. I didn't even see that one. Explore with my Africans live for their children, and it's so sad. Like that, your friend. So things like that. We have to balance things, right? Okay, and with that, thank you everyone for being with us today. I hope your weekend is beautiful. Join us again for another episode. If you go on our YouTube channel, you'll be seeing episodes even in the week before Friday, but on Fridays we come online. Thank you again for your support and bye-bye everyone.
All right.